Islam Makhachev's coach, Javier Mendez, who just witnessed his own fighter get stripped of his lightweight title, has now weighed in on the Jon Jones Tom Aspinall situation. And yes, stripped is the right word. Islam publicly said he was not vacating his title and fully intended to defend it in the future, but the UFC didn't listen. They went ahead and took the belt off him anyway. So if we're calling it what it is, Islam got stripped. Now with Dana White recently saying Jones has 2 weeks to make a decision, Coach Javier believes Dana's timeline should be taken seriously, but he doesn't think the UFC is truly fed up with Jones just yet. According to him, once the UFC actually hits that point of frustration, that's when they'll strip Jones. Until then, they're giving him room to move at his own pace. This situation is unprecedented. Tom Aspinall has defended his interim belt. That alone puts him in rare company, but on top of that, he's now officially the longest reigning interim champion in UFC history. He's done everything right, showed up, took on elite competition, and kept the division alive while the real champ has been sidelined for months. Yet somehow, the guy with the belt that's supposed to be temporary is doing more to move the heavyweight division forward than the official champion. That alone says a lot about how messy this has become.
Dana's very, very fair. He's very fair. He's always been fair. He's a man of his word. So if he says something like that, that's probably going to be the case. You know, it's going to give him 2 weeks and that's it. Of all the years I've known him, I'm not his friend, but I know him, you know, and I've seen him pretty much stick to what he says, you know. And yeah, there's sometimes that things have changed, but that's because circumstances.
Coach, make it make sense. They've done the same thing with Islam and Topuria, but they cannot force Jones to do anything.
Well, Jones isn't going up to super heavyweight.
No, I know, but like defend or leave.
Well, I think because
they did the same thing with Islam, defend or leave.
I think that's what's going to happen. I don't know, what do you think? But you're thinking the same thing because you're saying that. I'm thinking the same thing. I think they're going to say defend or leave, you know, because we can't continue to have you keep, you know, holding us with the carrot. We need an answer for this. So yeah, but I don't think the UFC is at a point where they're fed up with it yet. Once they get fed up with it, they'll do it. Well, let's wait for 2 weeks because he said 2 weeks. So
Jiri Prochazka just fired back at Magomed Ankalaev after being accused of ducking a title fight. Ankalaev recently claimed that when Alex Pereira wasn't ready for their rematch, the UFC offered the shot to Jiri and that he turned it down. Now, Jiri has confirmed it himself. Yes, he did decline the fight, but not because he's scared or uninterested. He explained that while becoming UFC champion remains his ultimate goal, his immediate focus is finishing his university exams. He straight up chose academics over a title shot, saying that's where his energy had to go for now. The former champ also didn't hold back when responding to Ankalaev's recent trash talk, saying that this kind of behavior is only speeding up Magomed's downfall. Jiri is coming off a massive TKO win over Jamal Hill, where he looked absolutely dialed in. His speed, head movement, and timing were all razor sharp, arguably the best he's ever looked inside the octagon. There's a real sense that he might be hitting his peak right now, evolving from a wild brawler into a more refined, dangerous version of himself. He even mentioned that he's now keeping his hands higher more often, acknowledging that his past habit of dropping them got him into trouble in previous fights. This isn't just the old Chaos Jiri. We're seeing a smarter, sharper warrior who's still unpredictable, but a lot harder to catch slipping.
Look, I'm studying like this university like for right now 3 years. This magister, everything is settled, everything is good. I'm after the fight. It's a little bit time, so right now I'm focused for this target. What is right now most important, the priority, and right now is that school. So whatever can happen, fights or whatever, this is on my first place. To win the title fight, to win the fights, but right now it's open and I'm already preparing for that, so that's why he's a big mouth and he's a big mouth guy. He will put himself down by himself just by this nonsense talking.
What does that timeline look like for your next fight?
August. My manager is trying to still keep negotiate this fight with Ankalaev.
During a recent press conference, Khamzat Chimaev made headlines with a surprising admission. He's been choked out in training recently. It all started when a reporter asked if anyone had ever done to him what he did to Robert Whittaker. Khamzat tried to brush it off at first, laughing and keeping things vague, but the reporter didn't let it go. After some back and forth, Chimaev finally pointed to the man sitting right next to him, ACA welterweight champion Abubakar Bagayev, as the one who caught him slipping in training. The moment caught everyone off guard. The undefeated Chechen is known for wrecking people in the gym. Top-level fighters have gone on record saying how hard it is to even survive a round with him. So to hear that someone actually tapped him, that turned heads fast. Boards clarified that it happened during a lighter, more playful session, not one of those high-intensity wars he's known for. But even then, he's the kind of guy who dominates every second of sparring, so hearing that he got submitted left Russian media stunned. All of this is happening as Khamzat gets ready to face Du Plessis, the undisputed world champion on an impressive win streak, widely regarded as his toughest challenge yet. The only other time he has been submitted in training was by Roman Dolidze, a story that came straight from UFC bantamweight champion Merab Dvalishvili. Let's dive into Khamzat's interview. I usually grapple at full intensity, going 100%, never giving anyone a chance. But not every round is like that. Sometimes we're just flowing, keeping things playful, not trying to hurt each other. And during one of those lighter sessions, someone actually caught me in a choke. I wasn't gonna name him at first, didn't want to give him too much credit and let it go to his head. But if you really want to know, it's the guy sitting next to me. As for the Whitaker fight, like I've said, I wasn't trying to cause serious damage. I was going for the choke, not aiming to hurt him. Normally when that kind of pressure hits the jaw, fighters turn their head to relieve it and give up the neck. But Rob couldn't react in time, and the pressure got to his jaw before the opening was there. Jon Jones has just shared a big update on where he stands with fighting, and if we're being honest, it sounds a lot like retirement, even if he's not calling it that outright. Speaking candidly, Jones said he doesn't want to use the word retired because fighting is in his blood, but at this point in his life, he could really care less about fighting. He acknowledged he's been doing it at the highest level his whole life, and for now, that fire just isn't there. If the hunger returns, he says he'll come back and give it everything, but that's a big if. Jon has been giving nothing but mixed signals for months now. One day he's teasing a comeback, saying he, Aspinall, and the UFC are working on something, and the next day he's basically saying he's done, talking like a man who's already moved on from fighting. At this point, who knows what he's gonna do? Is he retired? Is he not? Nobody really knows. Not even him, probably.
Is Jon Jones retired? Is he fighting again?
I don't want to say that I'm retired because fighting's in my blood. Right now, I could really care less about fighting. I've been doing it my whole life at a very high level. And when the itch comes back, and if it comes back, then I'll do it with my whole heart. I'll do it to the best of my abilities. But right now, I look around and I realize what's true, what's real. I see the way people look at me and the way I make people feel. And it's an extraordinary thing. That's who I am right now. I've punched and kicked enough people.
That's it from MMA Psycho. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for daily MMA news.